As we get closer to celebrating America's 250th birthday, stories of service, sacrifice, and unity take on an even deeper meaning. Next month, one of those stories will be brought to life right here on Delmarva.
Yeah, the Four Chaplains service reminds us of what courage looks like in its purest form. It tells a story of four young chaplains whose selfless actions during World War II became a lasting symbol of unity, faith, and sacrifice. Dot Baker is here. She is the coordinator of the event. Dean DeFino is a co-coordinator, and we're honored to have both of them here in historic Studio D. Welcome to DelmarvaLife.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So let's just start off, for those who are not familiar about the story of the Four Chaplains. Can you give us an overview?
Oh, yeah, well, this whole story is about four men. They were lieutenants in the United States Army. They were chaplains, of course. They were of different faiths. They came from different states. They didn't really know each other. They went to different colleges and universities until they went to Chaplain College in Harvard. They met there, and then they had one more brief encounter at Fort Miles Standish in Massachusetts before they boarded the United States Army transport ship, the Dorchester. This is 1943. We were at war with Germany. And so the convoy that included the Dorchester was headed toward Greenland. And so the German intelligence knew they were where they were going. So the German subs were out there on the prowl. And on February 3rd at 1 o'clock in the morning in the frigid, cold North Atlantic, a torpedo slammed into the right side of the ship. I guess if it was Navy, I guess it would be the starboard side. And as you can imagine, panic ensued. The lights basically went out. And these four chaplains, you had Chaplain Poling, he was Dutch Reformed. You had Chaplain Washington, he was Catholic. Chaplain Good, he was Jewish. And you had Chaplain Fox, who was the Methodist. These four chaplains went to the top level of the ship, and they were preparing the soldiers for what they would have to endure, the frigid cold of the North Atlantic. And they brought courage, they brought peace, they brought valor to a very dire situation. But unfortunately, they noticed that some of the men, in panic, they had left their life jackets, and they couldn't go back to get them. And so these four chaplains took off their life jackets and gave them to these four men. They gave them to these four men. And then the survivors then tell the rest of the story. They noticed that the four chaplains linked arms together. And as the ship was going down, they started singing. And they were singing in different languages. There was Latin, and there was a Hebrew song, and then, of course, some English songs. And it, as you said in your introduction, it just showed courage, strength, valor, sacrifice, and service, just in unbelievable terms. So that's the event. A little side note, 2.5 months after this event, Chaplain Poling's wife gave birth to a little girl that would never see, of course, her father. So that's the story of the four chaplains.
Right.
I think it's important also to describe the immensity of this transport ship. It was 5,000 tons. There were 903 passengers aboard, and only 230 survived.
Wow.
So it was quite a massive event.
So tell us more about the Four Chaplains service.
The service will be a full program through using guidelines from the National Memorial Foundation, and it will include music, candle lighting ceremony in memoriam. We will have the story, the saga, with 2 dramatic readers, and we will also have 4 ministers from the local area to portray the story of each of the chaplains. So it will be a full event. We'll also have a color guard for posting and retiring the colors.
And you have been to services, Four Chaplain services before.
Yes, I have.
I mean, that obviously gave you some idea of how to put this one together?
In some respects.
Yeah.
And in addition, using the national guidelines, of course. I've been in contact with the regional director for about the 6 surrounding states, and that was very helpful also. But my impressions, and I returned a number of times to the service, annual service, because it's compelling. It's a very compelling and very intense story. And that just led me, it has not been in this area for a few years, and so I felt led to bring this to life.
Yeah.
For our area.
So for folks who are interested, maybe want to learn more, be a part of it, how can they get more information?
They can go to, well, the event will be Sunday, February 1st at 2 p.m. at St. Stephen's Church on State Street in Delmar. And they can go to the church's Facebook or website. And then there are various and numerous advertisements in newspapers and flyers that we've distributed.
But we're going to make it easy. We're going to put it on our website,
That's good.
DelmarvaLife.com. Click on what's happening
Thank you
today.
very much.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming in. It sounds like an emotional service that
Yes.
people don't want to miss.
Yes.
Dot and Dean,
Yes.
thank you.
Well, thank you for
Thank you
having
very
us.
much.
Thank you.